If there's a reboot for Dark Cloud 3, or if there was a reboot for Dark Cloud, it would just be Dark Cloud 3 because they have nothing to do with each other. True. Honestly, I would rather them just get rid of the number system, maybe. That works for Final Fantasy, but for a lot of people, they're just like, I have to play these in sequence. Yeah, Suikoden or Legend Dragoon reboot. One can only dream. Oh. But yeah, I think a retro gamers buyers club. I don't know if it'd be buyers club necessarily, because many of the games aren't purchasable, which is kind of the big sad. And it would always be retro games. I think there would be a couple of games that would be like newer that I'd maybe push for. If it was something like tremendously notable. What would be a good example of like a newer game that, I mean, generally would be like Hollow Knight Silk Song or something. Like, kind of as a special, like, hey, this is a new game. Because I think the number one thing on the list would be, it would have to be generally affordable games. Like, $20 or less. Really need to do one of those collections for Legends. Misadventures of Tron Bond is going for $400 right now. Yeah. Ugh. What's the name of the new indie RPG that's similar to Earthbound? There's a couple. So specifically, you're probably thinking of Eastward? I think that would actually be a decent contender. But there's also kind of, sort of... what's the really depressing one? Omori. That might be kind of similar. It's another crunch weapon. I need weapons for not crunch. Yeah, there's also Undertale and Deltarune. Well, at least we're just getting more wrist knives. Saw Castlevania's, the marketing for the Castlevania anniversary. Yeah, that is the one thing I would say with this kind of, organization. I would probably stay away from certain companies. Namely, anything by Konami, I'd probably just not bother with. Ow. Ow! Freaking Earth Diggers, man. I don't actually know if I can hit them with this guy. But Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes. I know. I know. Oh, does the chest give the weapon to whoever opens it? I don't know. I don't think so, because I thought I was opening it with Dad there. But that is a good point. Okay, the answer is no. Alright. I want to try Ender Lilies. Ender Lilies was good. I found the boss fights to be just a little tough for me. But I'm also a wimp, and got lazy. You know what? Let's feed Dad bread. Or not Dad, Cromch bread. We got too much bread anyway. One thing I think that actually would be really cool is I have just enough pull with good old games that I might actually be able to organize like a good old game sale at the beginning. So say if we all decide to play, what's a good example? What's a game on good old games that's fantastic? Oh yeah, I could stack 9 bread on my belt. What am I thinking? Yeah, Nox or Wasteland 2. I think Nox would be a good example. Let's see, don't go on good old games enough really to know. But I have just enough pull on there that I could potentially specifically be like, hey, I'm doing a video game book club. Can I do 2 sales for this? Like, could I potentially organize like 2 sales with a game on your platform one at the beginning of a month for like just a little bit, and then one for another one. And they might actually go with it as kind of like to get as many people on and playing as possible. That could actually be kind of fun. Reminds me the Trails from Zero is finally coming to the West this fall. Oh yeah, Trails in the Sky would be fascinating. That one's super high on the list, but it would take a while. Maybe aim for a game every 2 weeks. Oh god. I think once a month would be it-ish. Like, we'd have to be very careful not to overplay things, because I don't know about you guys, but a 100-hour game is going to take me possibly 2 months to finish. A 30-hour game is maybe going to take me a month, and even then it's going to be pushing it a little bit. I would love to have that kind of, like, turnaround, because I think that would be fascinating. But I think once a month, I am poisoned. It's freaking rude. Oh, we do have plenty of antidote drinks, though. And we can just switch to just dad and not care. Aha! One month is a fair, maybe a bit fast. I think if specifically we voted on 2 games, like it's kind of a rolling thing, where you know what games are going to be played in advance, and we specifically, like, alternate between short and long. Because I think that would be the way to do it, is specifically, you know, trying to mix and match so people aren't overwhelmed with choice. Or not choice, but like overwhelmed with trying to finish games. So if a game that's like 100 hours gets voted on, the expectation would be, we got 3 months to finish it instead. And then maybe in the meantime, here's like 2 5-hour games. Because that would be like the perfect way of mixing it, because that way, say if we decide to play, I don't know, Persona 4, and you say, well, I'm not really interested in, you know, 2 out of 3 of these, so I'm just going to play Persona 4, and that'd be it. There'd be like 1 novel and 3 short stories for a quarter. Exactly! Because I think that would be the easiest way. And so, like, I personally would probably play all of them because it's literally my job. But for a lot of other people, you mix and match what you actually want. And that way, if we're playing, say, Mass Effect 1, you have time to actually take your time with it and not, you know, just hate yourself by the end. Hey, and thank you, Ghost the EXP, for the 10-month free sub. Love this game. Yeah, me too. Okay. What do we got? So this one's almost done. This one's a ways off. We really need to swap over to some of these other weapons just to get them up to +5, just so I can trash them. Have them giving me the itch to play it. And that's part of the reason why I'm talking about this kind of weird potential idea for a video game book club, because so many people always have that reaction when I play certain older games. Of like, you know, I'm gonna load this up and play it too, and it's like, yeah, what if it was actually like a community thing? Is that it? I can't tell. Okay. Well, we haven't actually found any of the people, so filling this out is kind of pointless. What about Couscous's house? Well, we haven't actually found Couscous, so that's not necessary. Actually, yeah, we can do nothing here. We'll still put this stuff away, but not really helpful if we don't actually have Couscous. Do we just from here? Cool. Like a weird snail house? I will say I'm liking the layout for this town a little bit better. The fact that they gave me this, like, giant area and the need for the river going straight through it really makes me try a little bit harder to make a nice-looking village. And I'm sure once we actually get to the point where we're, fulfilling villager requests, then we're gonna care even more. Let's just go over here, see if I get anything interesting. Hello. Nope. That was backwards. That's fine. If you need ideas for esoteric games, feel free to hit me up. I've played some weird ones. Yeah. I think I actually will. Let's see. Anything else? No. Aha! You don't live here yet, but I will take all of your stuff. Okay, the other one was we were going to check the well. Nope. Absolutely nothing. Okay. Oh. Go back to Dungan. Go back to Dungan. Oh yeah, you're right. There are at least a couple more villages than I thought. How to crowdsource the name. What, for the show? Oh. Yeah, the club. Is there... Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. So we're stuck with Big Papa. Ah, dang. Okay. Okay. So we gotta get out of here. Big Papa has two big problems. One, his weapon is bad. Two, his weapon is absolutely atrocious. Three, he has, like, no defense. He's gonna get clobbered. This is what I was afraid of. See if I can find some food for him. Guess we should go sell some stuff. I don't know. Haven't seen much of your content before, but Dark Cloud 1 and 2 have been one of those games I go back to play every couple of months. Steel floors with the bane of my existence. Yep. Yeah, fix his weapon or grinds. Yeah. I mean, I guess we could give him a shit ton of health and grab a bunch of food and just kind of make it work. Okay. I know exactly what I need to do, probably. But it is going to take a little bit of grinding. I want to get this... Oh. Okay. Gosh, is this the right thing? Damn it. I think it closed the guide. Well, I don't actually know how much I care. Oh, I do have the build-up powder. I think they both go in the same weapon. Ah, alright. Because I think what I want to do specifically is finish off this weapon and then probably orb up a bunch of his other stuff. If I can. We might have to give the Fruits of Eden to Big Papa just because. But I think I'm gonna orb up a number of the spare weapons that I've picked up along the way, and specifically mush them into Big Papa's hammer. Because if I can do that, at the very least, we can potentially make his hammer do enough damage to be a proper threat. Because as it stands, it only does 20 to enemies, and that's just weak. How many regions do I have? There's actually quite a number here. I have enough for the sword. Almost, well, enough money? Yeah, but I don't want to buy it. Like, new weapons are almost kind of completely pointless to me because I need to grind for them. Let's go back to Territory 11 a couple of times. Could you get a copy of the steel ability on the hammer? Maybe. Have a handy weapon orb you pass around to keep the weapons usable. Oh. Yeah, I guess I didn't really think about just having a weapon orb as like a stat stick. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Okay. I just remember to take it off when you upgrade. Yeah. Yeah, because I could definitely make, like, some kind of souped-out, higher-end weapon, and then mush it back down into just stat stick for other characters. Does that kill? That kills. But admittedly, I don't really want to try and engage witches in melee. It seems like a bad move. These guys can fight in melee. Yeah, part of the reason why I was thinking it would actually would have been kind of neat to emulate this is I totally could have probably turned items into orbs without actually consuming them. Using a cheat. Obviously, like, not exactly kosher, but boy, that would save me just a tremendous amount of time. I don't know about you guys. I am always one of those people that will cheat heavily if it means saving myself hours. And like, I don't want to bypass the challenge, but if the challenge is the grind, then there's no shame in that. Playing Pokemon with EXP share, I know a lot of people get mad about it, but for me, it's just like, oh, this is the difference between me finishing this and never finishing it. There we go. We'll be playing Dark Cloud 2, absolutely. Gonna take a little bit, but absolutely. How many of you guys ever played Fable 1 back in the day? ABS is full. Alright. This weapon is donezo. Alright. So we upgrade. Oh, no. Yeah, we want to upgrade it first, then we do the next one. Okay, so if I do build up, we can turn it into sacks. Sacks! Because the alternative is just not worth it. Alright, built up into sacks. Good dangage. 3 slots. Where's upgrades? Only goes to 1, so it needs more attack, more MP, more wind, more holy, more beast, more knight, more ghost. Well, let's just go attack and holy, I guess. How dare it not be a saxophone? I'm a little disappointed, not gonna lie. Okay, that said, I'm not gonna use this for a little while. We're gonna switch back to this sucker. This is our stat stick. I could build up, but I don't feel like it. Because Chris knives do enough damage, generally. Oh, sword for sword axe. I guess? Or saw axe? I don't know. Anyway, so Fable's another lesson not to trust video game hype. Also, Peter Molyneux promising the world. Odd thing is, though, I would say Fable is another one of those games that absolutely was great. They just needed to put a gag on Molyneux and never have him say anything. Anyway, so to go back to what I was saying about Fable, that game actually had, I mean, it was just great across the board, but it had one of the best bugs I've ever seen. Bugs or gameplay exploits? Wait, C-axe. Large knife with a reverse clip point. An actual knife. Huh. In Fable, in Fable 1 specifically, they had a mechanic where you could buy low, sell high, which, for the most part, didn't really matter too much in the game. Like, obviously, you could make a little bit of money on it, but one of the best parts about it, as far as I was concerned, was the fact that, nope, not trying to fight him in melee. ow, 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 ow. Shit. Oh, good. There's just water right there. Is this just nothing but... Okay, no, there's a Halloween. But we're not here for the Halloween. We're here for you. I do not know how to fight these guys in melee. Oh, it's because the main character can't do it. Got it. Yeah, she's gonna get killed. You know, actually, in retrospect, maybe here's about the time that we give her a Fruit of Eden, just so she doesn't get two-shot by a freaking Earth Digger. Because for the most part, she's never, like, in any danger. But there's a couple of enemies that can do her in. Oh, ho, ho. That was closer than I meant for it to be, but it's fine. Repair. Okay. But so, for the Fable buy low, sell high thing that made it so good, was that, if you maxed out, or at least raised your guile, I think it was, to a certain level, your mercantile skill, you could buy, like, a stack of 100 diamonds, and then sell it. And because they had none, they'd buy it for a ton, but then they would have 100 diamonds, and they're like, oh, well, I got tons of diamonds, so I could just sell them off for nothing. And so, you'd sell diamonds for 1,000 pop, and buy them back for, like, 500 pop or something like that. And it was, like, the cheesiest bullshit ever, but you could do it pretty quickly as far as the game was concerned. I think you even got, like, a decent amount of EXP for it. It wasn't amazing, but it was there. And I would, every single time I played Fable, I would do that specific exploit over and over and over again. Because ultimately grinding for money in that game was a giant pain in the butt. And so if I could bypass that, it was perfect. I loved it. Saved me time, and it cost me almost nothing as far as gameplay enjoyment goes. Okay, nope. Going back. Yeah, I'm just going to keep going, I think, until I find a new weapon for Big Papa. Or I have a particularly high-quality weapon orb that I can just kind of chuck in. The question is, how far do I want to go with a weapon to make it good? I was just checking out my YouTube comments while I was in the bathroom, and somebody suggested the broken dagger glitch. It might be too late for it, because apparently there's something to do with, like, before you do an event. So that might be something I have to keep in mind. But there might be a way that I can make, like, a really busted weapon that gives me, like, hella stats. I don't necessarily know if I want to go to that extent, just because I feel like it could break the game to the point where it's not fun anymore. But at the same time, having just, like, a spare augment that is just truly busted to give, like, Big Papa a boost, that might not be a bad idea. I'll have to look at it between, though. I don't think I want to mess around with trying to get a glitch to work on camera. Let's see. Go back to him. Because, yeah, my goal here... For that, nope. Okay, going... Circle strafing works really well. My goal here is just to get, like, a weapon that is decent enough that I can slam... Or, a weapon that I can turn into an orb. Slam that onto, like, a new hammer for Big Papa, and make it actually something worth something. I should have done that with my Gladius. I guess foolishly just, it's not good. I foolishly consumed that onto a weapon, thinking that would be the better idea. I have no repair powder. Oh, that's a bad idea. I mean, I guess I could do it with, like, the Serpent Sword. Get that up to +5. Problem is, I'm almost out of durability. We definitely don't want to do it with the Sax. The Bone... Oh, Bone Rapier has mad magic, though. I just looked at a video for the glitch. If you can still do it, it looks absurdly easy. I might just sit down and do it anyway. We will see. Yeah, I do have multiple small swords. Oh, I forgot to buy repair powder. Yeah, let's start working on small swords as the other weapon. Oh, that's why my durability is bad. Fighting these Halloween dudes. They just eat durability. Well, that's unfortunate. I mean, I guess we can just work on her for a little bit. Because this has tons of ammunition. And stupid amounts of damage. Anything here? Wow. What an absolute waste of a room. I could trim their HP with Dad, and then kill with the main character. It's true. But I think I'm just gonna speed run this floor with her instead. The other option is we just go buy an egregious amount of bread, then put the rest of our money into bullion. Oh, this is a Big Papa door. And yes, I do have some auto powder if I really wanted to go that direction, but it's more expensive. I just wish I could get some weapons that are as good as this slingshot. Like the whole character... Wait, do they have character locked dungeons in Dark Cloud 2? Because, boy, I'd be very happy if that's a feature that they just get rid of. Dark Cloud 2 only has the 2 playable characters. Oh, that's lovely. Both are capable and play different. Yes. I'm gonna have just tons of antidote drinks. It's great. Both have melee and range. Hell yeah. I'm looking forward to that. I don't know. I think we should start this game club with Dark Cloud 2 after I'm done with this one. My ideal... no. I don't think I want to... I don't think I want to say the name I have in mind until I've double-checked, make sure nobody else has used it. I mean, obviously, yes. We could just start it today with Dark Cloud 1. Obviously, I'm a little ahead of people. But if we wanted to just straight up start it with this game, and then just go from there, it's not the worst idea. Improved on a lot of things that were annoying in Dark Cloud 1. Nice. Looking forward to that. And honestly, this is still pretty good. There's just a couple of little frustrations that's like, why this? Okay. Come on, pop up. There we go. Now here's the other question. Can you ever buy level powder on this? Because I feel like being able to buy level powder would just change everything for me. Yeah, saying the name now will more likely make it claim before you use it. That's kind of my fear. I doubt anybody would ever be that heinous to try and, like, beat me to the punch on something, and honestly, like, it wouldn't matter. Because straight up all I'd have to do is just point at the VOD and just be like, yo, said it first. And most people would never, like... Most people would just be like, why do you even care about trying to beat a YouTuber to the punch for, like, a series name? Let's see. But at the same time, my buddy V was talking about this a while back, where another YouTuber that was fairly small at the time had made like a video on like how to grow fast on YouTube, and straight up just like referenced him directly, talking about like, just copy this other guy, like I did with this dude, and it's just like, And, like, that's just a bad feeling. I never want to be in that position. It also, like, generally doesn't work. It does sometimes, but generally just trying to, like, copy somebody else. That worked better back in the day. Back when, you know, there's only so many people that were like PewDiePie. The anti-goo and the anti-freeze. Those might be good. I don't even need the antidote amulet now that I'm thinking about it, because I have so many antidotes I don't know what to do with them all. Throbbing Sherry. Let's just offload these. Cripes. Can you buy level powder at all in this game? Okay, powders. Please tell me you can just buy this in, like, a later town. Damn it. Power of powder cannot be bought. Nuts. Because that would save me so much time. And also give me something to spend this money on, other than just bullion. I came back from grabbing food, and yeah, copying isn't how you grow. Learning from is, though. Yup. That's a bunch of repair powder. That might be too much. Oh well. Let's go drop some things off. There's a number of these I straight up just don't need. There's a fun one about names. Been working on an indie tabletop RPG for a few years, and we've been using the name Stuff of Legends for most of it. Seeing Wizards of the Coast come out with a YouTube series with the same name was not fun. Ouch. That's a good name, too. Like, on one hand, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, and the other hand, it's like, no, it actually makes perfect sense. Ouch. I know Shell has kind of an issue. A long time ago when she was a kid, she wrote a story. And, like, not word for word, but, like, beat for beat, somebody else wrote a very similar story. But there was no way they had read hers. And she's always had kind of this, like, complex about trying to be as original as possible. Obviously, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But that it was just really frustrating for her to be in that situation. I guess we kind of want to hold on to the rest of these. It gives me 12 slots. Should be fine. I guess, let's get rid of the cheese. We've got so much bread sitting around. And we don't need the medicine. Probably also maybe cull this at some point. That's a lot of bullion. Hopefully we find some things we can spend money on. That is, we're sticking with the name because we've been using it publicly way longer than them, and we're just hoping they don't make any trouble. Chances are they probably wouldn't. I don't know. Wizards of the Coast is weird. They're still kind of litigious, but it's not nearly as bad as it used to be. And I feel like that would not go so well for them. But yeah, monkey with the typewriter phenomenon. I mean, it's kind of inevitable. There's 8 billion people. And the thing is, people are a sum of their influences to some degree. Yeah, they aren't Games Workshop. Yeah, it's the easy way of putting it. But so, take Aragon, for example. It's super obvious when reading Aragon that, like, boy, this truly is heavily inspired by Star Wars. Like, you just cannot escape that comparison. And it's fine to some degree. But, you know, that book is very much like a mash of more popular topics. More popular, like, franchises, just kind of put together into honestly, a fairly competent series. Not perfect, and I had my complaints about it, but it wasn't terrible. But so, like, when you read a book, you inherently internalize, especially if you really like it, you inherently internalize a number of the ideas presented in it. And if you ever go on to make your own creative stuff, it's actually pretty difficult to extricate yourself from those core influences that, to some degree, make you who you are. And so it's kind of a bit iffy if you're a creator trying to, like, extricate that sort of thing. And so with stories and stuff, like, okay, get 2 shots, and then switch to him. And so I think in Shell's case, she was probably inspired by any number of things: Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Journey to the Center of the Earth. Who even knows? And so I would not be surprised if there aren't 2 novels being written by 2 completely different people with largely the same plot beats because they were both inspired heavily by some major franchise or another. And sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's less okay. I know there's a game that came out kind of recently called Loop Odyssey that is, like, very much not okay levels of inspired by other, another product. Eh. There we go. Holy shit, I never realized the Star Wars parallels, especially the second book. My mind is blown. I actually never got past... Was it the second book? Because it was too similar. I was just like, I couldn't read it anymore. I saw Loop Odyssey and gave it a massive side-eye. Apparently it's, like, actually pretty good, but... I just... You need so much more than pretty good to justify that level of... I don't want to call it inspiration, because I don't think I could call it inspiration. No, actually, I can fight these guys. Oh, damn it. Switch to her, briefly. That level of copycatting? Yeah. Because I don't want to say inspiration, because inspiration is too generous of a term. Like, the parallels between this and, honestly, between this and Loop Hero are actually pretty notable here and there. You know, great evil destroys the world. It's up to the main hero to go through and kind of put the world back together. Like, it's there. It's not one for one, but, like, it's there enough that you could actually say, like, hey, these are actually kind of suspiciously similar in a weird way. And I'd probably just chalk it up to zeitgeist or a long-term childhood inspiration turned into, ultimately forged into an original idea over years and years of mulling. Like, I'm not gonna sit down and say, like, this was Loop Hero 1, and that Loop Hero is just, like, stealing the ideas, because I don't think that'd be fair. But they're both wildly different products. Sure, they share a number of, like, kind of similar ideas here and there, but ultimately both stand on their own competently, visually, and some other ones. Yeah, there's a line between inspiration and imitation. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. And so for stuff like Loop Odyssey, it was beyond inspiration and even imitation. It was stolen... The phrase isn't really stolen valor, but I kind of am going to use it anyway, where it's just like, you see somebody else that has done something kind of similar to what you want to do, and then you try and do the exact same dang thing. And to, like, try and capitalize off of it. It's super common amongst mobile games especially, and it's part of the reason why I do not touch the mobile game industry, like, at all. That and most of the games are kind of crap, but it's not uncommon to see coattail riding. Yeah, it's probably a better one. But so you'd see, like, Flappy Bird, and then you'd see like a gazillion Flappy Bird style games come out. So what is Loop Hero taken from? Nah, I was saying that there are similarities between Dark Cloud and Loop Hero, but it's Loop Hero and Loop Odyssey that is the issue. Is this emulator or actually on console? Actually on console. PS5. We get Loop Hero. We got Loop Hero at home. Loop Odyssey. And, like, by all merits, from what I've heard, Loop Odyssey actually has enough going for it that you could almost say that they're completely, they're almost completely competent separate products. Except for the art style and the name. Yeah, they did themselves no favor with the name. It's the name and the art. And so if they had managed to restrain themselves enough and said like, oh man, Loop Hero is kind of a cool idea, but here's my spin where it's more about like kind of programming your path through it, and here's like a completely unique art style just to set us apart. And then instead of Loop Hero, we'll call it, you know, or instead of Loop Odyssey, let's call it, I don't know, Null World Chronicles. Just something. But name, art, UI, and fonts. And to that point, it's just like, it doesn't matter how good or competent your product is. If you're that close, inherently it's just gonna have this kind of unhealthy stink to it, where you're just like, that's not good.